So tell me this, what does putting in sprinklers, right? Putting in sprinklers, piles of straw behind me, some weeds, a trampoline zone, and an apparel brand have to do with each other? Well, those piles of straw were raked up by my daughter. That was the failed attempt of seeding grass last year. Made some more changes on it this year, and now we're putting in sprinklers to make that happen. But that doesn't raise the question of why, as a doctor, are you doing the work? Well, my home is my training ground. It's where I'm raising my children. And I feel richly blessed to have my children. But God has invited me on a different adventure. He's answered me and told me to keep doing the dentistry that I'm doing. I feel very gifted to be able to do that profession. The customers that I have absolutely love the quality that I provide at a very reasonable price, and I am grateful for that gift. So I use it to serve a lot of people, and I love it. But God has invited me to basically take what I'm doing here at my home and expanding that on a larger scale so that I can be a part of creating the means to make humanity stronger and bring them together in purpose, so that they can find their full potential. Every design now. So in Stripling we have apparel, okay, and there might be some other things that come too, but right now it's apparel. And with the apparel, on the neck tag of every single one, it says, "Our purpose is your potential." A lot of people are trying to find purpose and meaning in life by fulfilling their own dreams, and I think that's where we fall short. One of my favorite scriptures, two stories in the Bible, one in the Old Testament and one in the New Testament. The one in the Old Testament is Job, and the one in the New Testament is the rich young ruler. And without going into great detail, I believe firmly that there is a difference between them, that God's invitation and the potential for each of those two individuals was done by opposite means. And we as humans tend to think, we put ourselves on a comparison level and we think that another person needs to be doing what I'm doing to get the results that I get, but that's not the case. The case is that we need to have a stronger connection to truth and responsibility and God on the inside, and He will help to reshape us if we ask, okay, what next? What next? What next? What next? And we go with enthusiasm and zest, and He will help to mold and shape us into who He needs us to be so that we can fulfill our purpose as He sees it, not as we see it. So that has a lot to do with what Stripling is. The apparel and every design that we have made, and right now we've got 4 designs out there, right? Maybe it's 5 designs that are on the website at stripling.life. We've just started on social medias. YouTube in particular will be a place for poetry and music, and eventually some longer interviews when I can get the right people involved. Locally, Stripling here in my town will set out to do a monthly activity of physical fitness and another one of service, with an invitation for other people to do similarly. Posts of things like that will be on Facebook. TikTok is meant to be, somewhat humorous, etc. And so you get the idea. Each thing has a different role. So if you want to know what Stripling's about, don't look at these long videos right now. Look at the shorts. The poetic side of it holds a lot of value and meaning. But like any artwork, most artists don't want to sit down and explain the nuances and the nitty-gritty details. It's more exciting for an observer to try to dig and discover. And if they aren't willing to put in that effort, then they're not I would say they're not worthy of earning the opportunity to see the deeper side of art. If you ever go into an art gallery with fine art, you will watch people just stand there in front of a piece of art and they will gaze at it for quite some time, and they're trying to read into the mind and the heart of the artist. Well, my poetry is somewhat like that. Maybe we'll get other people's poetry out there too. But I'll be doing poetry pretty much every day. It'll be rare if I don't. There's a lot of things I'm gifted in and a lot of things I'm not. This brand, this movement, this invitation to humanity is not about me. And I don't believe it's coming from me. I believe it's coming from God through me, but I believe that's happening to a lot of people through a lot of different mediums. Some people are creating YouTube channels that help lead and inspire the minds. For me, I'm more hands-on, and social media is just a way to get people intrigued so that they'll dig more. I'm more interested in watching people live their own lives and see what they're doing and how God's leading and guiding them and what they're doing about it. Some people create books, some people do music videos, like everybody is different, but they're not all creators. A lot of people, I would say the majority of people are cultivators. Well, they take something that's already existing, created by someone else, and they cultivate it and they help grow it. Influencers, I would say, would be one role of that, but everyone's an influencer, even in your own home. So Stripling is seeking to strengthen the world from the inside out, and not by telling anybody what to do, but by inviting them to literally go back to God and say, okay, what next? Now, does that mean that atheists aren't involved? No, not really. I believe a lot of my atheist friends are atheists because they can't see their questions answered in religion of any type, and they're digging for greater clarity. And to them, I would invite them to dig deeper and say, what more can I do? What more can I do to make the world a better place? And I believe that the answers that you get and the way that you feel about things, when it makes you uncomfortable and it pushes your limits, I don't believe that's internal. I don't believe that's just you. I don't believe that's you and your purpose. I believe that comes from a higher source, whether you recognize it or not. So that's a little bit about Stripling. So you're not going to see a whole lot of videos on the video section, but I do invite you to look at the shorts, the poetry. Follow those every day. Comment on them. Share them. Those are meant to be more of the artistic side of things. Next video you see here on a longer video will probably be a video with someone of some type of credentials or renowned, and that has sought not only their own purpose, but the purpose that they have felt inspired to do as a result of inspiration from God. And if you know of people like that, send them my way. I would love to get connected with them. I'd love to do remote interviews so we can maximize our time and what we're doing. And I look forward to the growth of the apparel brand, because the faster it grows, the sooner we will invest in and build up a facility that will be kind of like a training grounds, similar to some people might think, oh, it's like a boot camp. No, not like a boot camp, but we're calling it the Lion's Gate. There's the information about it on the website. So go to stripling.life, www.stripling.life to find that. All the social sites are either stripling-life or stripling.life. And I hope that gives some guidance. I'm excited for the future, and I'm excited for the poem that I'm putting out later today. It's going to be called Listen, and the one tomorrow is going to be called Hustle. So those will be really nice coming out. It's exciting because, again, the world cannot and will not become the potential that God has for it so long as we seek to be pushed from the outside or changed from the outside Everything has to happen from a change that happens from the inside. And that's where, if for people that want a stronger world, a more beautiful world, a more kind world, a more loving world, a world full of greater leaders, a world full of greater charity, a world full of greater prosperity, etc. That's where that happens. It's from the inside out, not the outside in. So let's get this going, and like, subscribe, share, and be a part of this. I look forward to the involvement of others, especially as people link together to help create the content that will lead and inspire others to reach their potential as God sees them. All right, bye.